Hey, welcome back everyone. It is April 8th of 2021. Ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 and the Gina Carano firing situation, a lot of fans have been very much skeptical and confused on whether or not Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are really going to be able to pull things off when it comes to this new expanded universe by, of course, Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that we do know about Kathleen Kennedy over the years is that she has been nothing more than a force of destruction, as I like to always say. We saw what she did with The Last Jedi, Solo, and Rise of Skywalker all together. Those are the big three projects associated with Disney Star Wars that really failed in different ways. Now, when we go ahead and examine what Disney Plus is all about, this is, of course, their actual platform to create a library's worth of Star Wars material. You know, we've got shows like Kenobi, Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Andor, and the reformed version of Rangers of the New Republic, just to name a few. And we've got more announcements coming our way this fall, as well as more announcements next year at Star Wars Celebration of 22. Now, the thing about Jon Favreau is that this is a guy that is a legitimate Star Wars fan. Very passionate, very much in tune with George Lucas's vision. He knows exactly what the fans want to see, either on the big screen or at home on a screen, you know, such as a TV show. Now, the thing about all of this as well is that we also know that Jon Favreau has ran into a lot of problems ever since Gina Carano got fired for both Mando Season 3 and 4, because of a lot of rewrites being put in place to take out Cara Dune. And obviously, you know, those are setbacks. Those are setbacks when it comes to pre-production for these two massive seasons for The Mandalorian that are best described to have more episodes than usual. So, what's really exciting, though, about all of this is everything to do with Gina Carano. Now, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now actively developing their new Star Wars projects, such as Star Wars Ahsoka and Kenobi, both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are giving it their all when it comes down to the new universe moving ahead. However, since the Gina Carano firing, there have been many setbacks for the Mandalorian series since Gina Carano was let go. However, in a recent interview, actress Gina Carano was able to unveil more about Lucasfilm and its leadership, such as Kathleen Kennedy. It's described that at one point in time, Gina Carano went on to unveil that when she was working on the Mandalorian series, there were many times when higher-ups over at Lucasfilm, such as Kathleen Kennedy, would try to interfere with Jon Favreau's vision. Now, Gina Carano, surprisingly explained that Kathleen Kennedy was a very controllable individual over Jon and Dave's vision of what Star Wars is meant to be, and that Kennedy was pushing for her own narrative to be done with these TV shows. Gina also unveils that there were often times when Kathleen Kennedy had wanted many of Cara Dune's scenes to be deleted from The Mandalorian Season 2, since she was not so impressed with her acting in the TV series by Jon, and even tried to convince others over at Disney to make that happen. Not just that, but Carano makes it clear that also those loyal to Kathleen Kennedy, the ones that had wanted her fired, were actually said to have been told by Kennedy and the higher-ups over at Lucasfilm to find a way to fire Carano in any way possible. Now, Carano eventually states that there are others at Lucasfilm that disagree with Kennedy's narrative with Star Wars, and that she does not want to reveal names as of yet. Now, about Carano not wanting to unveil any names as of yet, that's very much respectful of her. She probably knows that if she unveiled who these people are that defend her and that tried to not get her fired behind the scenes, they too would also be fired by Lucasfilm, which, by the way, is awful. I mean, it's like just having an opinion or just supporting somebody gets you fired at Lucasfilm. Now, the thing about this as well that I think a lot of fans need to know that's very important is that when we go ahead and examine Kathleen Kennedy as an individual, right? As a person, she does not care about Star Wars fans or the Star Wars franchise at all. It's all about a narrative. It most definitely is all about a strict narrative that she's trying to push, an agenda, if you will, especially when it comes to Star Wars The Acolyte. The fact that she tried to delete many Cara Dune scenes in Mandalorian Season 2 just tells everything. it tells us everything that we need to know. It just tells us that she never liked Gina Carano from the start. She never liked her as an actress from the very beginning. And this is, of course, another scenario in which Kathleen Kennedy, I don't know if you guys remember, but she often tried to really alter Jon Favreau's vision for The Mandalorian Season 1. Alright, she actually wanted it to be more so a Boba Fett TV series, as opposed to a Din Djarin-oriented TV show. So that was the other side of the story. Now here's the other thing that I think obviously is very much crucial to the Star Wars fandom. John and Dave are trying to bring back Star Wars Legends, and thankfully Kathleen Kennedy has no creative power over the new TV shows except Star Wars The Acolyte. Let's keep that in mind, is that she's only creatively involved with the Acolyte TV series until June. They're going to begin filming that show at the end of the summer of this year, so we've got a couple of months to go until that show begins, actual production. And they're still trying to push a 2022 release. I still don't believe that they're going to make that, but I digress. Here's the other thing that's very important, is that John and Dave, by bringing back Star Wars Legends, they have to keep it consistent. They have to keep it more in line with how it was originally done, or at least very close to how it was done with George Lucas's vision and what he had approved back in the 1990s and the 2000s. So if they can pull that off successfully, they can absolutely make Star Wars as best as possible if they can follow that Legends guideline. I mean, look at what they're doing already. They are already, alright, as we speak, reviving some Star Wars Legends books and novels, coming back onto the shelves. I mean, that alone tells us that Disney and Lucasfilm are very desperate, trying to gain back the hardcore fans. Now, obviously, when we go ahead and take a look at Kathleen Kennedy as a leader, she's failed, pretty much horribly over the past couple of years. She's failed as a leader. She has failed as, a president of a company such as Lucasfilm by not listening to the fandom, by not listening to many of the employees that are more passionate fans, if you will, and are more connected with the fandom. Jon Favreau is the definition of just that. So Kathleen Kennedy, obviously, how Gina Carano explained that Kathleen Kennedy endlessly tried to destroy Jon Favreau's vision, tried to alter Gina Carano's scenes in Mandalorian Season 2, and it wasn't just that. Those loyal to Kathleen Kennedy that were looking for her to get fired were actually pretty much guided by Kathleen Kennedy to do that. And that just tells us that there was always a plan to get rid of Gina Carano. I mean, when you think about it in that sense, it's very much sad that this is what Lucasfilm has become. And it's all up to John and Dave to really recapture that magical feeling of Star Wars. Again, this all starts with the Kenobi series because they are somewhat involved. Then the Ahsoka Tano series, that's also going to be a big one. That's going to be a very important TV show to kind of recapture the mythical side of Star Wars, right? Everything related to the Jedi and the Force, the Cosmic Force, you name it. So, like I've said before, guys, I think that obviously Gina Carano's on the right path. Next month, leading into June as well, we're going to be getting a lot more interviews of her talking about Kathleen and Lucasfilm and more. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.